Hey guys, if you're turning in, you're ahead of the game. Enjoy!
Welcome back to Creatures, Cowers, and Crafting. In front of me I have some scrap pieces of XPS foam. Normally this stuff would find its way in a wastebasket, but I just wanted to show you that we could take small pieces just like this and craft them into something for our game table. So today we're going to make some torture devices. I'm going to cut these into some more manageable pieces and just see what we can come up with. So the first thing we're going to make is going to be a very simple torture cross. And what I've done is I've cut out some pieces here. And notice I put a little indentation in the middle. I'm going to do this on two of the pieces. The thing we're going for here is we want these to be flat together. Let me just flip this around here. We want to make sure that we have the angle pieces facing out. And what that's going to do is that's going to fit in very nicely. And then we're going to take the third piece, we're going to cut it a little bit longer, again add an angle to the end that's attaching to the cross, and we're going to put that together. Now we're going to add a little bit of texture, and what I'm going to use is a bore brush for this, and we're just going to go down in one direction on this. We don't want to scrub it, we don't want to tear that foam. If you've got a wire brush, you could do the same technique. I've seen this done before in other crafting videos, and we just want to make sure that we have those nice even textures along this. We want to go for wood grain. Now we're going to take a little bit of wood glue here. I like to use wood glue. Super glue will eat through the XPS foam a lot of times, and we're just going to put that in, and we can add a little weight on top of this. Another technique you can do is use pins for this and just pin them together like so. Walk away, let it dry. So next we're going to make some stockades while we wait for the torture cross to dry. And here I've just traced things out. Notice I've created some boards. What I'm going to do is cut this out into maybe like a capital T shape. And I'm also going to cut the two pieces in half. Now I'm also going to create 3 holes, 2 for hands, 1 for the head. And again, I'm going to use that wood glue, put these on some bases, and just use the pins to hold them in place. Next, I'm going to take some chipboard and cut them out into some small squares. I'm also going to take these ring beads and super glue them onto those squares. We're going to go over the entire project with some Mod Podge, allow that to dry, hit it with some black craft paint, and then go ahead and glue those rings on. So using the techniques as I did on the earlier projects, I'm going to cut out a table. Notice I've already hit it with Mod Podge and I've got it secured with the pins. We're going to let this dry, and we're going to come back and take an old brush. Now what we want to do is create the pulley system for the rack, and all I'm going to do is just kind of get maybe like a rough estimation here. Let me adjust the camera. I'm just going to hold this up. I tend to like to go to the thicker part of the paintbrush, and what we're going to do is just cut this down to size. And what we can do is we can actually carve down those pieces and fit these beads over. I do have some super glue that's securing these, and I'm using some craft gear pieces. I got this, I think at Michael's, I believe. These are bead bandings, I think that's what they're called. Anyways, I just wanted to use them because they have that gear look. But if you don't, you can maybe come out and use like a circle craft piece, or make your own out of paper or something. For the handles on the pulley, I'm going to use some craft sticks. I'm going to cut these down and super glue them to the gear piece. Now I'm only going to do one side. I understand that some racks, they have 2 so that another person can get in on the torture action. But for this, I'm just going to do one side. Next, I'm going to take some super glue, and what I've done is I've coated this middle piece right here, and I'm going to take some sewing yarn, and I'm just going to start to wrap this around. Let me just get a piece here to show you guys. And what we want to do is we want to cover all of that blue paintbrush. As before, we'll go ahead and give everything a nice coat of craft black paint and allow that to dry. So for the painting of these, I'm going to use a territorial beige, and I'm going to use this on pretty much all the torture devices. I'm going to hit this over the wood, and then we'll go over it with a black wash. Once the wash is dried, we'll give everything a nice dry brush. To create the cuffs, I'm just going to take some beads that I have in my bin here. I'm going to cut these in half and just stick them into the soft foam core like so. Now we're going to work on the actual stretching pieces. We're going to take some more of that yarn that we have from earlier. We're going to go ahead and fasten on 2 of our beads. I'm going to take a little bit of super glue and go over the yarn just to stiffen them up, straighten them out, and then we'll glue those down onto the bed. Once our cuffs are dried, we'll go ahead and take our pulley system, take a little super glue, and glue that down over top of the ropes. And just as a bonus, guys, I'm going to go ahead and create a torture chair. I'm going to be using the needles for support in this one. I'm also going to cut those needles into smaller bits and just embed them into the foam. You're going to need to use a little bit of super glue just to make sure that they're supported in there. Be sure that you're using that Mod Podge mixture first. Remember, if you apply that super glue straight to the foam, it may disintegrate it. Also, we're going to take some of those matchsticks and create ourselves the arms for the chair. Perhaps the most important part of the project is going over it with a polyacrylic varnish. Now this is going to go over as glossy. Don't worry about that. Once it dries, we'll hit it with a Tetradoll coat, but this is really going to harden and add resilience to your piece. Let's see what this looks like on the table.
My business is pain. I have a workshop of the finest instruments. Such wonderful devices, each born of malice. No other place contains both blunted blades and sharpened razors, rusted spikes paired with cuffs of well-oiled bronze. A truly wonderful place of ecstasy. How I enjoy the sound. A sweet symphony of carnage. And I, its conductor.
Hey guys, that's a wrap for this week. I hope you're enjoying the creepy crafts and the videos. We're going to continue that throughout October. Then maybe we'll switch things up after Halloween. I don't know. It seems like we're getting more subscribers, so maybe you guys really like the spooky stuff. I don't know. Anyways, really appreciate your support. I wanted to take a moment. This is Nathan Watts, and even though I didn't know him personally, he was a fellow crafter and a member of the Tabletop Crafters Guild. Nathan recently passed away. From what I gather, he was a big fan of Frankie D. Crafter, Bard's Craft, among other YouTube craft videos. Nathan, we will miss you. My thoughts and prayers go out to your friends, your family, and those that you love and care for. Guys, if you liked the video, think about giving me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, maybe subscribe. And more importantly, share this with someone that might like this type of craft. Guys, you stay safe. Take care. We'll catch you next week. Goodbye.